What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a PlayStation State of Play, and I did not misspeak. It seems to be a state of play. That's what we're hearing from Jeff Grubb. There's actually been a few other people I saw on Twitter that added a little bit more context, I guess, to it, but basically, the idea is we're probably not leaving September without a PlayStation show. Although, I say show, but I have to stop myself, right? Because Jeff Grubb made it abundantly clear when he talked about this earlier today that it is a state of play, not a showcase. And then I saw other people talking about it, and they kind of gave a few dates, right? It seems like the middle to the end of September, maybe right around. I saw one date speculated was September 25th. I think the 17th was another one. So, like, middle, and then towards the end. Tokyo Game Show, I think, is around the 25th, 27th kind of region. We know Death Stranding 2 is going there. Really, beyond that, there's not, I mean, like, I think Astrobot is going, but PlayStation's presence will definitely be there. It's the first time they're having a really big presence there in, I think, 5 or 6 years. But it seems like Death Stranding 2 is like the main point to it, right? Now, the rumor is they're going to be doing the PS5 Pro. In fact, the double rumor is that developers are continuing to delay their game so that it can be ready for the PS5 Pro, so that they're not releasing their game. The PS5 Pro comes out, and then they have to patch it later to kind of update it for the Pro. They're just delaying it in general. Seems like that's still happening. Jeff Grubb said it. I think Tom Henderson has talked about it quite a bit. Actually, I think the rumor with Gamescom just a few days ago, right, is that it was an open secret, right? Developers were just kind of openly talking about the idea of a PS5 Pro. It's probably coming. It's probably coming this fall, probably around November, right? And then you'd have any game that comes out afterwards, having this PS5 Pro update. Games that come before, so I would imagine like an Until Dawn type situation, that would kind of have to get patched, say, or Astrobot. Actually, those are probably the two of the bigger ones for PlayStation. Those would get patched, later on. So, okay, let's spend just a couple, minutes here talking about state of play versus showcase. So, I saw a lot of disappointment, and if it is a state of play, right? I mean, it's all rumors, but this is around the time that if there is an event next month, you're going to start hearing about it now, and we have started to hear about it now, right? Every time you get to a May or June or September type thing, you normally go about a month before then, and you start to have the rumors. There's really no rumors on what they would show besides the Pro, right? Just the console. I'm sure they would show more, but there's no rumors on the game specifically, just that it's a state of play versus a showcase. I understand the frustration. I understand the anger. I'm not willing to go all the way and join the dark side in that way until, I guess, we see it. And the only reason I'm saying that, okay, like, I totally get it if you're saying, you know what, abandoning this showcase thing. And also, you got to think, this would be a year without a showcase then. Because they already did a state of play, they'd be doing 2 state of plays, but not a showcase. I understand how that looks, and that does look pretty bad, and I think that would be pretty bad. However, I will stand on what I've said before, and maybe it's just like, a coping, kind of optimism. State of plays can be rather good. There's been big state of plays that you could fool somebody into thinking it's a showcase. In fact, the only difference is the length, right? There's been 30-minute state of plays that show 6-7 games, and they're very big games, and they've been very good, right? That's happened. Now, most times, state of plays are not like that. So I will say, I understand. If you're taking the average, when you hear state of play, most state of plays are 40 minutes or less. They're like 10 to 12 games, and more times than not, they're just smaller shows. There's nothing inherently wrong with them. I think you could have a state of play every so often, right? But they're not the big time events. And all of this stuff regarding PlayStation, and really years. In fact, I think that's kind of why it looks so bad, right? And continues to look bad if this is true. The state of play could be big. Like, you could show a Ghost of Tsushima 2 at this state of play. There's not a law stopping you. You could, and it's possible that they do it, right? But it makes more sense, you would think, at a showcase. And then you think, okay, well, when were like the last showcases? Well, you got to go a year plus now, right? Like last May or early June or whatever it was. And that showcase was terrible. So we've gone over a year, and we might honestly, it might be 2 years before you get another show, like from that last one to the new one. 2 years difference, potentially, right? If we get a showcase, say, next May or next June, it'll be 2 years. And then anything in between is just, in between. It's just not a good look to have these big events once every 2 years, and then to have, these state of plays that, yeah, you can get excited, and I will get excited, and I'm sure we'll speculate what could be there and all that jazz, but ultimately, I need to see it because maybe it is good. And if it's good, if it's a good state of play or even a great state of play, again, like you could convince somebody that is a showcase, just a shorter showcase, right? It's, it's in the naming and all that stuff. But, if you were to come out there and do like a Death Stranding 2 situation, PS5 Pro, Ghost of Tsushima, I always will throw Ghost in because we keep hearing that 2025 is so big for PlayStation. Well, in order for it to be big for PlayStation, you need games to come out. And right now, Death Stranding 2 is like the only game in 2025 that's like relatively locked in for only PlayStation, and it's not even from them, right? I mean, it's like it's a partnership, but it's not a Last of Us. It's not, or like I say, Naughty Dog. It's not a Santa Monica. You could get those games, but again, like we keep circling the wagon, a lot of those games would probably be shown off at a showcase. So if you were to show them off at a state of play, fine. You know what I mean? It's just a name. Who cares at that point? Death Stranding 2 is Death Stranding 2. Ghost of Tsushima 2 is Ghost of Tsushima 2, right? Doesn't matter if it's a state of play or showcase. So there you go. I can understand if people are going to be mad. Ultimately, I would say a show is better than no show. But yet again, sometimes these state of plays or showcases, if they're terrible, it's kind of like, I do believe that's true. I do think having a show is better than not having a show, but it's hard, like, in the moment, if it's just a bunch of things you don't care about, or it's just downright bad, right? Then it's like, oh, maybe you have to rethink, that analysis. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.